Other people don't always get you. And you probably have a history your whole life of being weird, of being the odd one out, of being like, how come everyone doesn't see this thing that I see about how the world could be different? They don't see it because they're not meant to. Hello and welcome to the Inner Game of Entrepreneurship podcast. I'm your host, Sarah, and I am here today with your Leo season and Mercury direct, for the love of God, reading for the collective. If you are new to these readings, I do them at the beginning of every astrological season, and we always ask the same 6 questions in the same order. So I'm going to jump right in. Frequently when I do these readings, I have notes, but this reading was so crystal clear to me. I didn't need them. I know exactly what I want to tell y'all. A big theme for Leo season, my darlings, is patience. A lot of y'all out there are feeling impatient about where you are now and where you would rather be. We're going to get into that. But the other thing to remember about Leo season, Leo is the divine child of the zodiac. Leo wants to put all of their stuffed animals into the shape of an audience and do a performance. Leo wants to gather all the friends and family in the living room and make them watch their show. Leo is not shy about shining, about sharing their internal truth, their glow, their sparkle, their stuff. And that is the invitation for you this Leo season. So starting with what's going on right now, where are you at right now? The card we got is against the grain. So here's the thing, you're different. You're different. You're meant to be different. The thing that I talk with my clients about being a visionary, and sometimes people are like, I don't know if I feel like I'm allowed to call myself a visionary, but they're entrepreneurs and they're creatives. If you have a vision for how the world could be different, you're a visionary. That's what it is. You have the gift of imagination. I think it's important to consider that there are people out there who are like, the way the world is just the way it is. I have no imagination that anything could ever be different. What it is what it is, right? There's those people. And then there's the people who are like, I do think the world could be different. I think maybe things could be better or improved or work a different way. But I don't know how. I have no vision for how they could be different, but I believe that it could, right? That's like level 2. Those are kind of your clients, really. And then level 3 is the people who are like, the world could be different. Things could be better. Something could be done a better way. And I see how. You're a visionary. You have a vision. You are a visionary by virtue of having a vision, by virtue of being a person who looks around at the way things are done in your industry, or the way that things are done in your country, or your city, or your state, or your community. And you look around and you say, this could be better. This could be different. I could see a different way that things could be done. And I know how to build it, or I'm willing to figure out how to build it. I'm going to go out there and build it. If you are that kind of person, you are a visionary, and trying to shy away from that or demur from that or act like that's not special, it's just because you've lived that way your whole life that you don't think it's special. You assume everybody has that. Everybody does not have that. It is unique to you. It is your gift that you have this quality. This is you against the grain. This card shows images of someone swimming underwater and there's birds, right? And it talks about how like you dream of birds that can swim underwater, of fish that can fly. You just see how everything could be different. And that's who you're meant to be. It's who you incarnated to be. It's what you're meant to do here. You're meant to be a person who can see how things could be different and go out there and make them different. Now, the downside of being a person who sees how things could be different is that you're lonely sometimes. It's that other people don't always get you. And you probably have a history your whole life of being weird, of being the odd one out, of being like, how come everyone doesn't see this thing that I see about how the world could be different? They don't see it because they're not meant to. So the kind of core wound of being a visionary is feeling lonely because you're different, because you see how different things could be. And right now, this card coming up in the position of what's going on right now, you are accepting. that this is who you are and that it's who you're meant to be, that it is not a liability. It is a gift. This whole framework is the root of a lot of the feedback that we're getting in this reading from our spirit guides. And so I want you to hold on to this point about how a lot of your wounding comes from feeling on the outside, right? When we're kids, all we want is to fit in. All we want is friends. We want to be liked. We want to be popular. We want to at least make it through school without being picked on. We want to be seen. We want to be valued. We want people to like us for who we are. And if you are a weird kid, maybe you didn't have that. Probably you didn't have that. Maybe you were bullied. Maybe you were picked on. Maybe you were always called weird. You were probably really, really smart. You were probably ahead of your class and you were different. So you've got some wounds around your difference that as an adult now, who is a visionary, who wants to start your own thing, have your own platform, be known for your thoughts, for your work, you still have this child part of you that's like, nobody likes me. People don't get me. I'm too weird. I'm too out there. So both of these things are coexisting. And what's going on for you right now coming into Leo season is you're like, fuck it. I am different. I am weird. I do have a different way of doing things. I do have a different view on how things could be in the world. And I'm ready to accept that this is a gift for me and not a liability. Right? So you're right on the cusp of this shining, of this fully just being like, fuck it, we ball. This is who I am. This is who I've always been. It's who I'm meant to be. And I'm leaning into it. I'm not hiding anymore. I'm not masking anymore. I'm not trying to fit in anymore. I'm not trying to appease anyone anymore. I'm not trying to please people anymore. I'm going to be me. And I'm going to share all the ways that I'm different. And then there's the part of you that's like, but nobody's going to like it, right? There's that old part. So that's where you are at right now. The block that is standing in the way of you fully leaning into your brilliance and your difference is follow your own rhythm. What's also interesting is that these cards are sequential in the deck. This is card 4. This is card 5. The block is the next sequential step in development, trusting your inner rhythm. This card is about two things. One is just straight up marching to the beat of your own drum and letting people just see that you're different, right? The block is, yes, I am on my own timeline. I'm doing things differently. The other part of this, though, is literally about your timeline. It is about shaming yourself for your timeline. You feel too late. You feel too early, right? Like either as a visionary, you're like, I'm just ahead of my time. Nobody gets me. People aren't ready for this idea, so I'm holding back. Or it's like, I'm too late. I should have started this a long time ago. People aren't really going to want this from me because of my age. People aren't really going to take me seriously. I should be so much farther along in my career right now. I've been working at this for so long. People are going to look at me, right? This is a thing I hear from my clients all the time is like, they are projecting that their potential clients are going to judge them for something that they are judging themselves about, right? I haven't gotten as far in my business as I want to. I haven't made as much money as I want to. I don't have as many testimonials as I want to. I don't have this. I don't have that. People are potentially, if I promote myself, people are going to see this thing that I'm considering a deficiency and they're going to judge me. They're not judging you. You're judging you. And you're judging yourself based on some perceived timeline. The other thing about following your own rhythm is that you go through your own ebbs and flows of energy with your work, right? With creation, like everything does, but you in particular give yourself a hard time about this. So you may like I am a person with ADHD and I don't medicate. So some days I have multiple days in a row where I get the bare minimum done. I call them oatmeal days. Like my brain just is not working that well. And then I have other days where I call them star power up days. Like in Mario Kart, when you get the star and you can go really fast and you can like run everybody down. Sometimes I have star days where I can get everything done on my whole task list for 2 weeks in a day. And I just know that my star days are always coming back. So if I have oatmeal days, I'm not tripping. I'm not sweating it. It just is part of my cycle. I might have a few very low output days followed by one very high output day. I have unshamed that this is how I work. It all works out. Everything gets done. Nothing has fallen apart in 11 years of this business. Everything is fine. There's something going on for you where you are kind of pathologizing the way you work. You're beating yourself up either for working too much or not working enough. You're pathologizing your need for rest. Maybe you're a little burnt out and you're pathologizing your burnout. Maybe you're a little bit tired and you're pathologizing that you're tired. Maybe you are in a season of feeling a little bit like you want a full break from your work and you're like, oh, this means I don't care about it anymore. There's something about yourself, your timeline, the way that you approach work, the way that you work, or where you're at in your career, that you have been making a problem. You have been making it a problem. It's not actually a problem. You are making it a problem. And you making it a problem is the block that's standing between you and fully owning that you are a visionary who's here to do things a new way. You're designed to literally be a spark, a catalyst on the planet that when people come into contact with you, they go, oh, things could be different for me too. There is a different way to do things. That's who you're meant to be, but you're blocking yourself from being that because there's something about the way you work in relationship to time, where you're at in your timeline, that you are making a problem. So the way that we get through this block is you stop doing that. You stop doing that. You let yourself be who you're meant to be, where you're meant to be. Whatever stories you're telling yourself about how you should be farther along by now and people are going to judge you, that you should be making more money and people are going to judge you, that you should have started when you were younger, people are going to judge you, that you can't let your business get too big because you work in these fits and starts and you're inconsistent. Whatever it is you're telling yourself about how the way you are different or where you're at in your timeline is evidence that you can't be successful, you have to stop. You've got to let it go. You have to just unshame. All of this is unshaming. You've got to unshame all of you. Yes, I'm fucking different. I'm weird. That is who I am and that's my gift. And yes, I am how old I am. I am where I'm at in my business. I'm making as much money as I'm making. I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm doing it the way that I'm doing it. Fuck it. We ball is the mantra of this reading. This is who I am. This is how I do things. If you're in, you're in. If you're not, you're not. No more holding yourself back because you're telling yourself stories about how other people are going to see where you're at. Let it go. Now, once you do that, the gift that comes through is release the dark wound and let love live. This is a very interesting card for us to get in the position of it being a gift. This card in the gift position, the dark wound is perfectionism. And what this card specifically talks about is that you are like judging yourself for not getting a book deal before you've written a book proposal. You're judging yourself for not making $1 million before you've built a scalable product suite and put the systems in place that would allow you to make $1 million. You are judging your beginnings against other people's 10 years in, and you are not letting yourself build the work, do the work, create the work, because you're getting perfectionistic before you've even really got into iteration. That doesn't work. When it says release the dark wound and let love live, they're really saying your art, your work, your body of work, the thing you're here to create, you have to let it live. You have to let it inform you. You have to nurture it. You have to take care of it. You have to build it. You have to see what it wants to become and follow it versus imposing your perfectionistic ideas of what it must be in a way that strangles it and doesn't let it live. If your work never makes you $1 million and it only, only in quotation marks, impacts 100 people whose lives are profoundly changed, being like, well, that work was a failure and shouldn't have existed because it didn't make me $1 million. That's you that's you in the dark wound. That's you not letting love live. Not everything that is created is meant to go off and become a worldwide sensation. That doesn't mean it wasn't meant to live. That doesn't mean it wasn't meant to impact the people that it impacted, touch the people that it touched. And everything you do leads you to the next thing you're going to do, but you're holding yourself back from the doing because of all this judgment. All of this stuff is judgment. I should be farther along. I should have started this when I was younger. People are going to look at me and think I should do blah, 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 blah. All of that is perfectionism and judgment. The way that you're approaching your work, perfectionism and judgment, all of that has to go. So when you accept, I'm different and I'm meant to be different, and that's my gift. Fuck it, I'm doing it my way. I'm doing it on my time. I'm doing it on my timeline. I'm doing it my way. Then we get into, and I'm going to let the work be what the work wants to be. I'm going to let it show me. I'm going to follow the work. I'm going to follow the vital thread of spark, of aliveness, of curiosity that the work is giving back to me. And I'm going to let it take me somewhere rather than impose my external vision of what this thing has to be on it in a way that shuts me down, in a way that makes the work not fun, in a way that closes me off to other opportunities. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm just going to let the work live. In the book, in this card, it talks about people who wrote your favorite book, made your favorite album, made your favorite movie, how that piece of work almost didn't exist if that person had succumbed to the dark wound, if that person had succumbed to perfectionism and gone into despair and been like, oh, nothing works out for me. There's no way this book is going to get picked up. This movie's too weird. No one's going to fund it. And they just gave up. You wouldn't have your favorite movie. You wouldn't have your favorite book. You wouldn't have your favorite album. And then think about all the pieces of work in the world that did get killed by their creator. They never made it to your hands. Don't let your work be that, because you're here going, well, this is too weird. This isn't going to make $1 million. No one's ever going to really like this. No one's going to buy this. People are going to think this is too out there. People aren't going to like it if I do it this way. So I'm not going to do it like that because that's not going to be successful. You are shutting yourself down. You are limiting your capacity. You are limiting your possibilities. Follow the thread of the creativity. Back to this whole thing about Leo season, right? The divine child. When the child is making their whole family sit down in the living room to watch their show, there's no part of them that's going, I wonder if they're going to think this show is bad. Doesn't even enter into the equation. They're like, I am a star. You're going to watch me and you're going to love this because I'm a genius. That is the energy that you need to start bringing to the work. You're going to love this because I'm a genius. How could you not? We need more gall. We need more audacity. We need more unapologetic inner child dressed up in a costume in the living room. Everybody sit down and pay attention to me. I'm a star. We need more of that in you. That's what's going to allow you to let the work live. That's what's going to open up doors of where the work could take you, is you being shameless about sharing your way. That's what people are really attracted to. So how do we deal with other people during this time? What is already within you? Stop looking at how other people are doing shit. Stop looking at how other people are building their business. Stop looking at what your competitors are doing. Stop looking at, oh, so-and-so just did this thing. Maybe that means I should stop what I'm doing and I should do that. I really want to do this, but this person said that this isn't going to work, so I'm going to do it like this. Stop looking at what other people are doing and stop thinking that this card specifically says that your success is ahead of you or behind you. So back to this block about like the way that you think about yourself in relation to time. Stop thinking that like, oh, I had a shot, but I missed it. It was back there. If only 5 years ago I had XYZ, then it would have worked. But because I waited, now it's not. Like whatever stories you're telling yourself about how you should have done something different in the past, that's not true. Whatever stories you're telling yourself about how success is somewhere in the future, that's also not true. Two interesting things that pop out to me about these cards coming together: release the dark wound and let love live, and what's already within you. There's two very important things that the book talks about with these cards. In the release the dark wound and let love live card, it talks about getting into the story that like you're not good enough yet, that you're not successful enough yet, that things aren't going to go the way that you want them to go. And in this card, the what is already within you card, it talks about believing that there is a solution out there, an answer out there, an idealized form of you that exists somewhere in the future that you haven't reached yet. And that when you reach it, everything's going to be solved, right? This perfected future fantasy. That is perfectionism, y'all. Like that idea, right? We do this, right? Well, we'll create a routine for ourselves. And in the routine, we get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and we go straight to the gym and we do a 2-hour workout and then we come home and meditate. But in real life, like you got kids and there's no way you could go to the gym at 5 o'clock in the morning. Like you're making a plan for an alternate version of self that does not exist rather than acknowledging who you are and how you are and working the way that's right for you and letting that be right and following the thread of that and seeing where that takes you. You're still comparing yourself to other people, looking at how other people do it. Oh, all of the like 4 a.m. club people say that the best way to do everything is to do it like this. And so I have this idealized future version of self that is accomplishing everything in exactly the right way and never struggles and never feels embarrassed and never feels resistance and never feels overwhelmed and is productive every single day. And when I achieve that, that's when I'm going to be able to fully launch. That's when I can go all in. No, it's not ahead of you. It's not behind you. You literally have every single thing you need to be successful right now. It's already within you. If there are people that you're following who make you feel insecure, unfollow them, including me. Like block me. I don't give a fuck. I will not take it personally. If the way that I run my business, if the things that I share online, if the way that I talk about my work makes you feel insecure and you look at me and go, well, Sarah's doing this, so I should be doing this, unfollow me. I don't follow any coaches. I don't follow a single one. I don't find it helpful to look at the way that my competitors in the field are doing things. I spent way too much of my career looking at people and going, oh, well, that person's trying this strategy, so maybe I should do that. Or that person just launched a program like this, so maybe I should build a program like that. No, we cannot be industry leaders while we constantly compare ourselves to other people and think that the answer for how we're going to be successful exists outside of ourselves. And if you're going to work with a coach or a mentor, make it sure that it's a coach or a mentor whose job, whose role is to get the best you out of you, not to teach you how to do things like them, which is a very different kind of work. A lot of people in my little sidebar are not actually coaches. They're teachers, right? They're like, here's what worked for me. I'll teach you how I did it. That's not the same as sitting in front of somebody and saying, who are you? What do you care about? What's important to you? How do you do things? Why are you making that a problem? What if we just built your structure around you? How do we get the best you out of you? Who's there to encourage you? Who's there to unshame you? Who's there to say, no, you are right in your impulses. You are thinking about this in a good way. The fact that this is different is a positive, right? Like someone who's going to encourage you to bring the best you forward. That's what you need in coaches right now. It's what you need in mentorship right now. It's what you need in friendship right now. It's what you need in peers right now. You need people around you who are going to keep shining the mirror back to you and saying, no, you're ready. You've got it. You have everything you need to be successful right now. It's not in the future. It's not in another expert. It's not in somebody else's formula. It's you. You're ready now. So anybody in your life who does not make you feel like that, you got to mute them, at least for a little while. Because right now, self-trust is thing number one. It's just the unshaming, the absolute unequivocal unshaming of self is the thing that is required for your next phase of growth and development. Just believing I've got everything I need right now. Yes, I'm weird. Yes, I work on a different timeline. Yes, I've been in business for this long and this is where I'm at. Yes, I do things differently than other people in my industry. Yep. Yes, this is a brand new undeveloped thing that I'm beta testing. Here it is. All the unshaming. So anybody who makes you feel like you're not ready yet, mute them. Now here's where we bring back the wound that I talked about in the beginning of growing up feeling like you're different. Your message from your spirit guides is collaborative dreaming. Y'all, if you want to be successful, You're going to need people, a lot of them. You're going to need a team. You're going to need mentors. You're going to need employees. You're going to need consultants. You're going to need assistants. You're going to need contractors. You're going to need to collaborate. And you're going to need customers. You're going to need an audience. You're going to need people. And the thing that this card says very specifically that your spirit guides want you to know is you have to stop being a lone wolf. That's like the main message of this card is you have to stop thinking of yourself as a lone wolf. So going back to the beginning of coming into accepting, I'm different and I've always been different, and that is my gift. All the wounding you have from childhood about being different that tells you people don't like me, everybody thinks I'm weird, nobody likes what I make, people are going to think that I'm too weird, I have to fit in, I have to compromise my voice and my vision, I have to do what other people think I should do or I'm not going to be rewarded and I won't fit in. That all has to go in order for you to be a leader. You're going to have to accept that your relationship with people is your biggest desire and your biggest wound. You want to be big. You want to be seen. I'm a star, right? Come, everybody look, everybody sit down and watch me. I'm a star. You want that deep down, but you're embarrassed that you want it. And you're telling yourself nobody's going to like it, right? So in the work that I do with my clients, this is the saboteur archetype. Vulnerability went bad for me in the past. I was hurt when I was vulnerable. I put myself out there. I got shamed. And so now I'm not going to let myself do it. I'm going to convince myself in advance. I'm going to reject myself in advance. I'm going to tell myself, nobody's going to like this. It's too weird. I'm too old. It's too out there. The way that I'm doing things is too weird. You're going to convince yourself that nobody's going to like it. That is your old wound. That is saboteur archetype popping up and trying to protect you. It thinks that it's trying to protect you from getting hurt. But in order for you to be as successful as you want to be, you're going to have to heal your relationship with people, with groups of people, with the way that you think about self in relation to community. If you want to lead a group of people, you have a vision for the way that people's lives could be better. You have a vision for the way the world could look differently. That is love. Right? You're walking around with a vision for a different humanity that's rooted in essential care of people, of human beings. That's who you are. You are a big-hearted person who's dreaming of a better life, not just for yourself, but for others. And you want to be a star. You want attention. You want a big following. You want lots of customers. You want to make a big impact. And then you're telling yourself, but nobody's going to like me. But I'm too weird. You have past wounds about working with other people. You have past wounds about leadership and collaborating. If you're a woman, if you're a femme, if you are a person of color, if you are a smart person, if you're a person who's living in any type of marginalized body, you have a history of showing up, being exceptional and being a leader and having people tell you you're bossy, you're loud, you are rude, you don't belong here, you need to learn your place. And you're carrying those wounds into your next level. They cannot come with you. You have to stop thinking of yourself as a lone wolf. You have to stop thinking of yourself as an outsider. You have to stop thinking of yourself as the person who never gets what you want, that people don't understand. You have to stop dimming your shine to be part of relationships and communities that have shown you we will not accept you if you're big. We will not accept you if you're bright. We will not accept you if you're shiny, right? What you're dreaming of, collaborative dreaming, is a world in which you have deeper intimacy, where you feel more seen and you feel more appreciated for who you really are. And you're with other people who get it, but you're holding yourself back from that by dimming yourself because you're telling yourself people aren't going to like the real me. Nobody ever likes me. Nobody ever supports me. Nobody ever wants to see me shine. When I lead, people think I'm bitchy. When I lead, people think I'm mean. When I express myself, people think I'm weird. You see how that's that lone wolf? I have to go off on my own because people are never there for me. People always let me down. How are you going to have $1 million company if you believe that nobody ever shows up for you and people always let you down? Where does the $1 million come from? The $1 million comes from people showing up for you. That's where it comes from. So how are you going to have the bigness of life that you want to have while believing you're a lone wolf and nobody gets you? Your message from your spirit guides is your lone wolf days are over. This is the wound that must be attended. And we've gotten this card in this position before. So this work must be done. This is leadership initiation. And if you are an entrepreneur, this is the kind of work I do with my clients privately. And it's the kind of work that we are doing in Powerhouse Mastermind. It is that next level of going from I'm a solopreneur to I lead a team. I lead a movement. I know how to communicate. I expect people to show up for me. I expect my team to show up for me. I expect my audience to appreciate me. I expect clients to buy. I expect it. Again, that Leo child. I'm a star. Everyone sit down and watch me. I expect that you're going to love this because I have something great to share. That energy coming into the room is totally different than I'm not even entering the room because I've been rejected in too many rooms in the past. So I'm just going to do it my own way. And I don't care if anybody likes me or not. Do we see the teenage energy in that? And how that teenage energy is not aligned with letting the divine child in you shine and being seen and fully appreciated for who you are on your terms, your way. We got to get that teenage energy out of the way, that rejection energy. It showed up in your life to help you at a time when you felt hurt, right? I was vulnerable. It didn't work out for me. I'm never doing that again. I don't need anybody. We've got to let that go, right? The adult's job is to come in and be like, some people are going to like me and some people aren't, but I'm doing it my way. Either way, I'm letting my inner child have the stage. We're shining. That's what we're doing. And that's how I'm going to find my people. But I expect that my people are out there and I expect that the right people are going to gravitate to me and I'm going to go find them. No more lone wolf. You want community, you want connection. You're going to have to trust that those people are going to show up for you and let them show up for you. So what's the final message to bring all of this into form? Softly, softly, the tender touch, the way of the feminine. All your life, all my life, I had to fight. All your life, you've been trying to do this through effort and hustle and proving and doing and getting all your ducks in a row and getting all of your I's dotted and all of your T's crossed and showing what a good little soldier you are and working so, so hard. And we're proving and we're proving and we're proving and we're masking and we're showing everybody how hard we can work. And we're thinking, if I just work hard enough, I'm going to earn the right to someday do things my way. The way that we're going to get what we want this time is by letting go of the doing and stepping into the being. This is very, very hard. It is easier said than done. We need to do less. We need to force less. We need to allow ourselves to just be. In the book, there's a story that goes with this card about the wind and the sun having an argument about who's more powerful. And they decide, we're going to settle this once and for all. And there's a man walking down the street wearing a coat. And they say, whoever can get this man to take his coat off is the more powerful one. And so the wind starts blowing and gusting and like just doing the most. And the guy just clutches his coat to him and he leans into the wind and he's like struggling with his coat. But no matter how hard he struggles, like he's not letting the coat come off. And eventually the wind is like tired out and gives up. The sun just shines brighter. And after a few seconds, the man gets hot, takes his coat off, throws it over his shoulder and keeps walking. The sun does by being, by shining, hello, Leo season, what the wind was trying to do through force and effort. The sun just is. Baby, look at me shine. This is me being 100% me, unapologetically. If you look too long, I will blind you unapologetically. The thing that you want is not going to be accomplished through you working harder. And it is not existing somewhere in the future after you work harder. It is by you accepting that who you are right now is enough and trusting that who you are right now is capable of being, doing, having everything that you want. It's not later. It's not after you've worked harder. It doesn't exist somewhere in the future. You're not going to have to hustle for it. It is by letting yourself be more completely, more unapologetically who you are and who you've always been. That's what's going to bring it. You have spent a lot of your life trying to do things the masculine way. through effort, through force, through hustle, through following rules. That's not how it's going to work. That's not how you're going to find success. It's not the type of being you are. Your success is going to come from you surrendering into a more easeful mode of doing things. That's the thing that you're going to have to be feeling into right now. The shadow for this season is patience. You can see there's like a little turtle guy on the card. Our shadow here is patience. This card brings the message that you must be patient and trust divine timing. Humans are anxious creatures. We know what we want and we want it now. But we are also working in collaboration with the divine, which means that sometimes we have to wait longer than we would like. Looking to the earth can be helpful when we're working to cultivate patience. You cannot rush seasons. A tadpole cannot rush turning into a frog. A tree cannot rush its growth. This card asks you to have faith that your own process is happening in perfect time. Turtle, steady determination. Sometimes people who struggle with patience give up on something simply because they're unable to wait for things to come to fruition, and delays discourage them. Something to note about turtles is that their land speed is 3 to 4 miles per hour, but their speed in the water is 10 to 12 miles per hour. This is a reminder that if we are patient and wait for the right time, we will have less resistance and make more progress. The spirit of turtle calls for resolve, grit, and persistence. Call upon turtle when you need assistance in sustaining consistent effort in your long-lasting venture. This card feels so important to me with all of this message. But the thing about the block of I'm too late, my timing is wrong, I should have been successful a long time ago, how come this isn't happening faster for me? The dark wound of this should be successful already. There is a thing that I see a lot with my clients of unrealistic expectations, right? They're like, well, I made 2 posts and my offer didn't sell out, so it's not working. That is saboteur as well. You convincing yourself that you're not going to be successful and that nothing is working because you're not seeing results as fast as you want them, when in reality, you just have not shown up consistently enough over time, putting in the consistent work, right? And I want to be clear because I know I just said that it's not going to come through more effort, but the showing up consistently as yourself, letting people see you, letting people see your offers, letting people see what you have going on, inviting people over and over, trusting that everything's going to work, that people are going to show up for you, not reverting back into your no one ever shows up for me lone wolf story. You don't have enough days of that under your belt to see the results that you're looking for. When you're honest, you haven't put in the reps to see the results that you're looking for. I've talked to clients where I'm just like, oh, this is the equivalent, what you're saying to me right now. Oh, well, I've made 10 posts and my offer hasn't sold out yet. That's like saying to me, I went to the gym for 2 weeks and I'm not shredded yet. So I'm quitting because this isn't going to work. No, people don't look shredded until they've been picking up heavy things and putting them down for a long time. The results that you're looking for are the result of consistency. It's not about lightning striking. And a lot of media has us lost in the sauce with thinking that people are overnight successes. That phrase that it takes 10 years to make an overnight success. We just see people popping up successful. We don't see the years of work that they put in the behind the scenes. And so because we're not experiencing the imaginary sensation of overnight success, we're telling ourselves, well, then I must not be doing it right. I should ditch my plan. I should go try something else. I should go do what the other person is doing. Nobody likes me, right? It's all of that saboteur inner dialogue is the result of telling ourselves an unhelpful and untrue story unrealistic expectations that we should just put something out and be immediately recognized for our genius and praised, and we should immediately have all the results that we want right away. And when we're not seeing that, we give up on ourselves and we revert back to the old story that we're not going to be successful and nobody likes us and it works for everybody else and not for us. That's got to stop. It's got to stop. And the thing that allows us to be patient is trust. It's trust. It's trust. The thing that allows us to be patient, right? The reason that the tree doesn't freak out when it's a sapling and go, oh no, I'm not a tree yet, is because the tree doesn't doubt it's going to turn into a tree. It doesn't think maybe it's going to turn into something entirely different. It knows if I just keep growing every day, the sun's going to shine, the wind is going to hit my branches, the rain's going to fall, I'm going to turn into a tree. It's not tripping. The tadpole isn't thinking, uh-oh, maybe I'm going to become a duck. No, it knows it's going to be a frog. It knows. You have to have the same trust in you. I'm going to be successful. My company is going to be what I want my company to be. My business is going to be what I want my business to be. Or, right, as we remembered with the Release the Dark Wound card, or it will be something else that's equally beautiful and important. All of this or something better, right? It's going to be exactly what it's meant to be if I just keep showing up, if I just keep being me, if I just keep trusting that my people are out there, if I just keep believing that my success is inevitable. Something we were talking about in my mastermind the other day is, what does it mean to believe your success is inevitable? If you believe your success is inevitable, then no obstacle is fatal. I just must not have been meant to do it this way. So I'm going to go find another way because my success is inevitable. Failing is not ever on my radar. It's not ever an option. I'm going to succeed. So if it's not going to be today and if it's not going to be this way, that just means I got to go find another way another day. But I'm going to succeed because I trust that my success is inevitable. I trust my vision of my life and where I'm headed. And that allows me to relax and say, if it's not this thing in this moment, that doesn't mean it's never. I'm not getting into scarcity around that. It's just not this way and it's not today. And that's fine because my people are out there. My destiny is out there. My right and ready clients are out there. My connections are out there. Everything that is meant for me is for me. Again, on following your own rhythm. Nothing that is meant for me could possibly miss me. And I don't believe it could. So why would I trip? Why would I quit? Why would I allow this moment to defeat me? Why would I allow this moment to make me stop going after my dreams? I wouldn't, because I believe my success is inevitable. I'm playing a long game. Patience. So that's your shadow right now. You're being impatient, and your impatience is causing you to kick up a whole bunch of saboteur doubt and tell yourself, maybe this isn't working. All of it's a lie. It's just impatience. So yes, it's Leo season. Yes, we're in that divine child. I want what I want when I want it. Fire sign. But it is time to play. It is time to show up as your full self and trust that nothing that is for you can miss you. It is time to let go of shaming your timeline and just believing that your success is inevitable, that you are that lion. Who's going to step to you? Who's going to check you, boo? That is your reading for Leo season. I hope that this was helpful for you. If it was, if you're listening on the podcast, you can shoot me an email, intuitiveedgecoaching@gmail.com. You can comment on Inner Game of Entrepreneurship Pod on Instagram. If you're watching on Instagram, please feel free to give me a comment and let me know that this was helpful for you. Okay, love you. Bye.
That's our episode for today. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to this. I know there are so many things that you could be doing with your day, so many things you could be listening to, and it means so much that you are here in this community. If you enjoyed this episode, please take a moment, share it on social media, and tag me at Intuitive Edge Coaching. Share it with a biz bestie who you think needs to hear it and will appreciate it. And take a moment to like, to subscribe and to leave a 5-star review wherever you are listening. It helps me grow this show, and it helps us grow and sustain this brilliant community of entrepreneurs dedicated to doing the inner work. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, love you. Bye.